You are listening to Sparkle and Natter on Glitterbeam. Move On Baby from Cappella. And the reason we are playing this today, it's time to speak to my very special guest from that very special song we've just heard. It is Cappella singer, SL2 dancer, 90s legend, Kelly O. Welcome, Kelly.
Hello. Hi, good to be here.
Thank you so much for coming in today. We're really excited to have you here at Glitterbeam. Let's just dive straight in, shall we? Let's go straight back to the 90s. What do you remember most about that time? What brings back straight into your mind?
Probably, the obsession with music. So my obsession with music started really young. We were just talking about, I grew up in Suffolk and there were 3 air bases there. So the first music that I was exposed to was American soul. So things like the Fatback Band and Glenn Goldsmith and stuff like that. Way too young. I was going out dancing to American soul music.
Yeah.
So kind of my first love of music was American soul, but it very quickly moved into the beginning of the rave era. So when I actually kind of think of the 90s, I initially think of the rave era, illegal raving, into London, into everything I did from dancing at raves. First time I appeared on TV was with Carl Cox.
Right.
And then SL2 and then into Cappella. I probably think back to the rave side more fondly. I think the rave side was very, very pure. And it was all kind of done with pure energy, pure passion, and just a love of the era.
Did it feel like something big at the time? Did it feel like something crazy was happening, or
it felt special? It did feel like you were part of something special, but we had no idea it wouldn't be repeated. And we talk now, and we're like, wow, even now you look back and it was so extraordinary, so unique. It was pure freedom.
Yeah,
absolute freedom.
What was the energy like behind the scenes at the time?
Well, we were the one constant in that scene was the love of music. It was a generation obsessed with music, and we were literally, it was the Pied Piper, and we literally followed the dance. And we would drive all over the UK. We'd hear that there was a great club that had a great venue, that had a great scene, and we'd travel 3 hours to go to that venue.
Yeah.
We'd go to raves that were in the middle of fields in Shepton Mallet. We'd go wherever the dance was, but it was far from a few people. It was a movement.
Yeah,
and it was all about music. It was only positive.
We were just having a little bit of a conversation about that as well, about how music was quite physical as well. Obviously we had the vinyls, we had the CDs and the cassettes.
Yeah.
Started to move into the mini discs sort of a little bit later, but it was very physical. We held on to the music and it was something we owned and kept with us, and I think that also helped you.
We've still got it, right?
Yeah. Have you still got copies of all your songs?
Oh yeah. And I've still got my whole CD and vinyl collection.
Have you?
I don't think you throw it away.
I'm not going to admit this on air then. I did have to clear some of it out, but my first ever single, I've definitely still got that, and we've got all the vinyls. Music being physical and that passion and love for it, I think was so important in that time. But yeah, it's great to hear. And then Cappella quickly became like a massive name across Europe, not just the UK. Yeah. It was huge. So how quickly did that just snap happen? Suddenly one minute you were here and then you were just everywhere? Or?
Well, I did around 2 years of SL2, and they decided that they were going to stop gigging as SL2, and we kind of cried until we drowned because nobody wanted to stop doing that. It was nothing but fun. And I was living in London and started working with producers and doing different singing bits. All I was determined about was I was not going back to Suffolk. There's no way. I was 21 and I was not going back to Suffolk. And I bumped into somebody that I knew that happened to have an agent with me that asked me what I was doing. And I said, different things, working with different producers, putting vocals on stuff, doing different things. And he was like, would you be interested in a project? And I said, not sure. I was a true snob about music. I could discuss riffs and 8 beats. I was absolutely obsessive about music. And I said I wasn't sure. And he said, well, let me get them to send you some stuff. And they actually sent me the first version of You Got to Know. And for me, You Got to Know was a celebration of the rave era. At the end of the rave era. And I always liked music that had good riffs, nice beats, strong bass lines and catchy vocals. And You Got to Know, when I listened to it, I was like, that's a really good track. And that quickly I just said yes. I'll do it.
And that was going to be one of my questions. Why do you think those songs lasted? What do you think was so good about them? I think you've pretty much just answered it in the structure of it and the effort and passion that went behind every section and layer. I don't know if you'd agree. I think that's probably why these songs have lasted. And obviously they're coming back around as well. 2026 seems to be this year where everything's coming back to us. I mean, we started the year looking back to 2016, but even further, I think fashion and everything as well is coming back as well. I mean, what was the backstage, the human interaction like? Do you think people had a much more positive outlook for the music? Were they
I think we were just incredibly in the moment. I think that there's elements of technology.
In the moment, that's such a key point.
There's elements of technology that is extraordinary. You know what technology is able to do, but there's elements of technology that is. I don't think it's progression. And I joke with younger people about, I kind of think some music, it's criminal that you listen on Bluetooth speakers. And we all used to invest in decent speakers and decent sound systems. You know, you could most people had a decent sound system in their house. And now someone can put the best technology and the best production into the most incredible track, and people listen to it on their phone. It's kind of criminal. When I really want to listen to music at home, I put my Technics separates up on my Celestion speakers. I like to feel that I love music.
I love being here for that reason. Obviously the quality and equipment we've got here, I'm hearing music on a whole new level every time I hear these headphones, and I can fully appreciate that. So beyond holding it, beyond the passion that they could have for it, it needs to come back. Let's bring it back.
I completely agree. 100%. I think it starts with bringing the Bluetooth speakers.
We get rid of them.
And also cars. Now, I joked because we used to go find the illegal raves in cars, and everybody's sound system in their car was generally worth more than the car because people were so obsessive about the music. And I just think actually the quality of music,
detachable interfaces as well.
It will start kind of hypnotising people again if we just up the quality of the production, is my opinion.
Okay, so it sounds really glamorous and fun and positive and everyone into it, but was it like that? Was it really, what was the reality of that lifestyle?
I think the reality of anything that's commercially successful, and we charted in 37 countries as Cappella, and there was no technology. You know, the upside of technology now is that you can do interviews by Zoom. You don't have to be in territory to do them. You can use the technology, whereas at that time the only way that you did the level of promotion that went with it was to go in territory and do it. And honestly, it was incredibly hard work. And you would arrive somewhere, you'd have 2 or 3 shows, you would then have 3 days of press, you might have a TV interview as well. I never saw any of my TV, I never heard any of my interviews, because by the time I left, I'd already left before they were aired, before anybody had seen them.
Wonderful. So that's another reason then for the Originals tour to be going out there now. I'm really excited to be talking about that next. But first, let's get a track on just to get us in that mood. This is Something from Let's Go. Woohoo! Let's go with Something, the incredible vocals of Evie, who is another fabulous singer, joining you, Kelly O, my special guest today on the Originals live tour. And it's the return of real voices. Let's fast forward to this now. We've spoke about the past, how we got here, but now tell me about this tour. What's making this show different?
It's all a little bit different. I think kind of the authenticity of the project, everybody associated with the project are the people that when you remember those groups, we are the people that you remember. And music should live on in whatever form it does, but you obviously have a lot of lineups that maybe the original artists aren't there, and actually what this tour really celebrates is that we are all the people that when you remember the songs, we are the faces, we are the videos. I think we've been streamed, all of the artists on YouTube have been viewed 1 billion times.
1 billion,
combined.
wow.
Yep. Between all of us, it's 1 billion times.
Considering YouTube wasn't even sort of around in that time as well, this is something people have searched and gone and found.
Well, we were the MTV generation.
Yes.
So it was when people actually used to make an appointment.
Long rest MTV.
I know. Not all progression is for good.
No.
But those videos used to be an appointment to watch, and a lot of effort and time, and I'm kind of the same as everyone else. A new track comes out now, I don't know what the video looks like.
No.
And it's kind of a shame really, because they were always that visual aspect that brought the track and the artist to life. But yeah, we are. And Evie's our 2000s representative on the tour.
Yeah, no,
so everybody
I
else is
love that.
90s and Evie's 2000s.
Obviously, what you're saying, the original artist, what an authentic feel as well to the show. I think, are the fans taking to it well?
Well, we've done one. So we did the Bradford show. And I think although we expected that we'd get a nice response, it blew our minds.
Yeah,
but the
imagine.
show is, we don't perform as a sequence of PAs. So the show is broken up into themed segments, and we each perform in each segment, and we collaborate and we duet, we do tracks together. And the music production has all been done by Slipmat. So I don't want to give away too much about it, but there's one segment that is literally our biggest track, and it's mixed together. So we literally hand over. You got to know into Mr. Vane, into No Limit, into On a Ragga-Tip, into something.
You're listing like legendary songs here.
Literally absolute anthems.
Yeah.
And Slipmat does this part in homage where I think he mashes up 22 tracks into 9 minutes, and the crowd were cheering the mixers, and we just had a choir. I didn't expect people to sing as much as they did.
Yeah, no, those
and
tunes stick in our heads.
Didn't stop singing, and it was, even though we'd rehearsed for the show and we knew the structure of the show, it still somehow surprised us how they responded to it. It was beautiful.
Oh, well, so it sounds like a really nice experience. Had you worked with any of the other artists before? Shall we say who else is in the tour with you?
So it is Anita Dost, who's singer and songwriter of 2 Unlimited. Anita was the most successful female of 90s dance.
Well, I mean, as soon as you said 2, I didn't get
you knew what it was, right?
Yeah.
And when I look back, Carl Cox talks about that Top of the Pops that I did with him, and he remembers that 2 Unlimited were there. Yeah. That was 91. I then went back and did those TV programmes in 91 and 92 with SL2, and then I went back and did them again with Cappella in 93 and 94. Anita was 2 Unlimited throughout all of my time.
Yeah.
And the success is absolutely off the scale. So Anita is, I call her the queen of 90s dance, because I think it's not even an opinion. It was worldwide, it was global fame.
It is
global
worldwide
success.
as well, yeah.
I did an interview with her last week. We were in a recording studio together, and the interviewer said, how many countries did Anita chart in? And I said, how many countries did you chart in? And she just went,
all of them, is it?
All of the ones that had charts.
There
and I
go.
was just like, absolutely brilliant. So Anita is one. Then Tanya Evans is obviously the original culture beat. Mr. Vane was number 1 in the UK, as well as 17 other countries, along with other hits. Then obviously myself. Then Evie. We have Tamiko Starr from Living Joy, who joins us along the way.
Lineup.
I know.
It's just royalty.
It's wild. And then SL2 is the reunion. We're actually performing together for the first time since the end of 92.
Our listeners can't see that, but the sort of
it's pure
smile
joy,
and giggle you gave when you said that is incredible. I mean, you can see your passion for this and how
So
happy you are that it's happening.
Yeah.
Is the show like a bit of a storytelling? Is it a shared history? Is it just a concert? Is there a structure to it?
There is a structure, because it's broken down into the segments, and there's special bits in the show which I won't tell you about, but it's very much about celebration and recognition. Literally not just ourselves, but also almost the pivotal people that had such a huge impact on our era. So it's just a pure celebration, and it celebrates more than just us, but I won't say too much about that.
That's fair enough. Keep us in suspense as well. So when the fans are coming to the show, though, many of it, we've all grown up with music, and we were just saying just now as well, it doesn't matter whether you were in that sort of clubbing era at the time, whether you were an older parent listening in the car, whether you were younger at roller skating discos, wherever it was that you were, or what generation you're in, everyone knows these songs. So are you finding you've got a real range of audience coming?
Well, the bit that I really love is my daughter's 23 and loves the 90s stuff, and we are seeing older children and their parents coming.
How nice is that as well?
Well, and that's the thing about music, though, right? It bridges generations.
Yeah.
And that's pure joy to see. So although the audience was kind of probably nearer the age group that you'd expect, kind of as you said, you have people that attach memories to actually being in the thick of it and raving at the time.
Yeah.
You have people, I hear this all the time, I was 3 years too young and I watched my brother go. So you've almost got the little FOMO generation.
Yeah.
Then you have somebody said to me that On a Ragga Tip was the soundtrack to PGL. Do you remember when
Parents Get Lost?
Yes. And they were like, that was soundtrack to PGL, and I was just like, this is brilliant. So you kind of get quite.
It's bringing people together, families together. You're doing a service.
I think so. I think we call it date night with your youth. And whether you were on PGL, whether you were in the thick of raving, whether you were going clubbing, whether it was about something else, what it does is it just takes you straight back to the time when you first heard this song, what you were doing, what you remember.
It does, yeah.
And the upside is dance music generally only provokes good memories.
The beats are in our veins as
they
well.
Really are.
I want to play another one. Is that okay for
of
you?
Course.
I'm going to play You Got to Let the Music.
Okay, amazing.
Here it comes now on Glitter Beam. And this track was your biggest hit in where?
In the UK, so it sat at number 2 in the UK. Yep.
Lovely.
Didn't get to number 1, but sat at number 2.
That just sounds incredible. It sounds so fresh today. It doesn't matter, does it? I could listen to that all the time. I've got a couple of messages come through for you, Kelly. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
So we have got Jenny says, Kelly, I love you.
Oh, thank you, Jenny.
So hi to Jenny. Thank you for messaging in. And hey from Carl. I was at the first show. It's amazing. Kelly, please say hello to Charlie. She's your biggest fan.
Hello, Charlie. So he came to Bradford. Is that what he means? He means he
came
came
your
to the
first show.
I've seen the first Originals live show. Oh, he knows. It was such an amazing
Carl, give us
event.
the heads up. What are these secrets that she's holding as well? I want to know what's going on.
Don't spoil it, Carl. Don't spoil it.
Thank you for messaging in, guys. So people are listening in, loving this as well. We've got a lot of hearts coming through for you as well. Yeah. But on a personal level, on a reflection, how do you feel being back up there? How does it feel for you personally?
I think that I never planned to do this, genuinely. I moved house actually down, because I live in Kent and I live down on the south coast, and I moved here just about 5 years ago, and I went through boxes that I hadn't been through in a long time, and I took a lot of pictures from that era. And it was actually, just to warn you, this kind of takes a bit of a sad space, but it comes back up. It was actually the people that had passed way too soon that had a real impact on me. With SL2, they were signed to XL Recordings alongside Prodigy right from the beginning, and obviously Keith, unfortunately, has left us way too young. And as I sorted through my pictures, Guru Josh was in them. Too many people were gone way too soon, and I'd looked through the pictures in years gone by, and they hadn't really had that impact on me. And I just had this, I can't leave these all in boxes in my attic. There's probably family and friends that would like to see them. So I reached out to Slipmat and said, listen, I've got a lot of pictures. And he went, we'll have all the SL2 ones. And I thought, okay, but what about the Cappella ones? What about the pre-SL2 time? Because I've got thousands. Yeah. And I just thought, you know what? I'll just put them online as the name I was then. No one will remember me. I will do it chronologically. I will tell the stories. I will bring it to life. And they're there. They're out in the ether. I don't need to try to carry them around for another 30 years. My daughter doesn't have to carry them around. And considering I've spent my lifetime working in radio and talking about attachment to music, somehow I'd forgotten that people had such an attachment to mine. So I was blown away from the response, and I think it was probably 6 weeks in, I was offered shows. I was 51 years of age. Are you coming back to perform? And I was like, no, I'm not. And they're like, come back, everyone's back. And I'm like, no one wants to see that. And then the offers kind of kept coming in, and about 4 months later I kind of had a conversation with a friend and said, I feel like I'm being given the opportunity to change the ending to that chapter of my life. And there were a
lovely way to look at it.
And who gets that at all? Who gets the opportunity to go, I thought it was finished? And actually there was a negative side to Cappella and a negative side to that experience, and that was how that experience for me had wrapped. But it turned out that the dot was a dot, and it just felt like such an extraordinary luxury. So the next thing that came in, I said yes to, and actually it wasn't really the right thing, but it did get me back on stage. It was so odd. The first show that I did was 27,000 people after a 28-year absence. These
aren't small numbers, and what responsibility as well when you realise how much your music meant to people and how they connected that into the things when they were growing up, the memories that's triggering in people. So I can imagine it felt like a little bit of responsibility on your shoulders as well.
I don't know.
No?
Although, no, I don't know. I don't know that I feel. I suppose I feel a level of responsibility in the sense of, I think that we, particularly the older we get, we all need an escape from the day-to-day. And what I try to do is just keep it all sunny side up. So I don't talk about the negatives very much. I just talk about the pure celebration of it all. Some of the stories that I was told, I spent a lot of time touring in 93 and 94. And obviously that time in Europe and Eastern Europe and further afield was a massively changing time. And it was actually, as people, I knew the rave stories, I was in the thick of it, but it was people telling me the stories about the end of communism and the beginning of the new world, and how synonymous the music was to that, that made me realise that the reason that the music's not going away is because the attachment is to more than just music. It was about a whole new era in their life, and those stories have just been incredible. The stories are just wonderful to hear, and I kind of live vicariously through the good energy. And I go on stage, I don't know why I can still do this the way I did then. Even I look and go, this is a little bit crazy, but people are just like, wow, and they feel like they're young again. And if I get to make people feel that way, that's just an absolute luxury.
I've been watching your videos. Your energy is insane. The way you're dancing still, it's like you're 16. How are you doing it? Have you trained? Have you had a bit of a fitness regime to get back into it?
Well, I mentioned this to you earlier. I think the only thing that really helped is I played competitive netball until 6 weeks before my first show. I didn't want to stop at all. I didn't want to stop playing netball, but kind of once I committed, there's a good amount of there's a good risk of injury in netball. So it felt responsible to quit before the first show, but I literally played until 6 weeks before. Well, I don't know, I'm fiercely competitive, so if I'm going to play netball, if I'm going to perform, I'm going to do it to compete. So I literally used to throw myself around against 17-year-olds and keep up, and so I think netball kept me fit enough to do this.
That's amazing.
It's just wild, right?
Can we get a little routine? There's a little bit of High School Musical with some balls coming through.
I could do that. I could absolutely do that.
You're so positive. I can do that, definitely.
I can do that.
I think, well, that's sold then. That's another routine, please. We'll see that one on the internet soon. And if you could go back as well, is there any piece of advice you'd give your younger self in a quick sentence?
I don't know that it is a quick sentence. I think the unfortunate thing is I almost needed me as my mum. Well, you need someone, sorry. I know we've got to go into a break.
No, it's fine. What I'm going to do is let you think about that then.
Yeah.
And if you would love to stick around, I'd love to keep you in the show for the rest of the show.
Happy to.
So we'll talk about that in a second. So we're going to take a little break for the news, and then we'll be back very shortly. Oh my goodness, Jungle on Glitterbeam today, finishing off my funky 3. I love that sound. So Kelly O is still with me today, and we were vibing to that. It's a new song, but it's new, it's a couple of years old, but new soul, and it's just such a good feel. What did you think?
Smooth, I like it.
Yeah?
I like it, yeah.
Loved it, great. Absolute vibes there. And I was saying about they've got a one-take video as well, and you were saying about, music videos being so important to promoting the song, and that is certainly a good one that went viral. We also heard there as well from the brand new Heavies. That was actually requested by Pablo online. He asked me to play that one in my Funky 3, so Never Stop went out to you, Pablo. Did you know that their name was actually inspired by James Brown? Inside,
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, inside
I met James Brown.
You met him?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Keep
talking.
TV
show, and it was a TV show, and I was filming something, and he was in the studio next door, and someone was like, "Come and say hello to James Brown." So I went and said hello, James Brown, and that's my story of James Brown.
No good for a radio presenter. I'm almost like gobsmacked here. Wow.
I know, it's wild, right?
Wow, that's incredible. Well, apparently in one of the slips in one of his vinyls, it referred to him as the minister of new super heavy funk, and that's where they got their name from.
Brand new Heavies.
Yeah, they took inspiration from that.
Yeah.
Bit of facts for you there. Yeah. And then the Isley Brothers with Harvest for the World, and we were saying that's a really happy, fun tune, but if you listen to those lyrics, wow, they run deep. So yeah, music connecting to people. Also, Jimi Hendrix apparently lived with the Isley Brothers and played in their backing band before he was a star himself.
There you go.
So
you're the encyclopedia, you are.
I love my soul music. I love finding all this stuff out. So we've got some more messages coming from you as well. So I'm glad that you stayed around, because people just can't get enough of this. They're loving it. So Liam, listening in from Brighton, has said, this is unreal. Liam, I'm with you. I'm there. It is absolutely unreal. He says, do you still get the same buzz performing these tracks live, or does it feel totally different now? I think that kind of ties in with what you were thinking about. What advice would you give your younger self? How does it feel? Let's go.
I think my advice, I did need that time to think about it. I think my advice to myself would be just I think actually young people don't take life too seriously, because I think when we're young it's quite intense and it feels like small things are the end of the world, and they're really not. And I think my advice to my younger self would be, don't take yourself too seriously and enjoy it a little bit more. I absolutely took my role as a performer seriously in the 90s, but I didn't party, I didn't go out, I didn't drink with friends. I literally just performed and did it as a job. And I think if I went back, I'd probably do it a bit more like I do it now.
Just party yourself on stage, isn't it?
Well, I literally now, I have the luxury of, it's all on my terms. There's no labels, there's no agents, no managers telling me what to do. I work with a really nice network of agents, and I do what I want to do. And if I don't want to do it, I just say no thank you, and that's okay. Being back on stage is more enjoyable than ever. I don't know why. It's as if 22-year-old me reappears about 20 seconds before and just literally says, let's do this. And I don't feel 54 on stage. I feel 22, and I think I just let her loose. I talk about her as a third person, which is a little bit odd, but it feels a little bit like that.
That's actually a really good thing in therapy as well, is to talk about yourself in that third person, and you see things in a different perspective. So that's not weird. That's absolutely fine, and it definitely works for you, because I can see the energy you bring on the stage. Can I give you another message here as well? You've got, oh my God, I did not expect this today. Hearing Kelly on the radio has just taken me straight back. Absolute legends, Cappella. These tunes still hit the same. Massive love from me, Sarah. Tuned in and dancing around the living room like it's the 90s again.
I think that's what I'm here for. I literally think because of the absence for such a long period, it seems to literally take people straight back to what they were doing when they were doing it then. I think that's what I'm here for. I'm just a good energy bunny.
Confession that I haven't said on air yet is that my memory was roller skating discos. For me, that is where I was listening to you, and I can still feel the bumps and bruises. They're all coming back as I'm listening to the
Sorry
tunes.
about that.
No, that's absolutely fine. We've got another message here. Yeah, loving this today. Again, people sending through. This is awesome. Gonna need some more names coming through. Let me know where you're listening from as well, guys. So yeah, people really relating and connecting to you. Should we get another tune on?
Can I just say I love Brighton?
You love Brighton?
Said about my daughter went to university there, and I spent lots and lots and lots of very nice weekends in Brighton. Love Brighton.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's get some more tunes on, shall we?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to do a bit of Berry. How do you feel like that?
Come on, Berry.
Sunshine After
Love
the
it.
Rain.
Love it.
This one's in your show as well.
It
Live
is.
originals.
Yeah.
All right, let's go then. 2 Unlimited on Glitterbeam. Get ready for this. Oh, I thought they were going to say it one more time at the end. I thought we finished. Get ready for this.
That would have been perfect.
Honestly, that song is just, I hate to say it does take me back to Bring It On, that film, the cheerleading film with that terrible choreographer, but it didn't ruin it for me. I still love it. It's still a jam. But yeah,
my daughter used to dance around to Just Dance, to the 2 Unlimited tracks.
Just Dance has got all the best songs.
And she finds it absolutely hilarious that I'm actually touring with the woman that sang those songs.
Yeah.
She's like, this is hilarious. And she still remembers the routines.
Okay, honest question. Do you think she loves this 90s music and stuff because of her connection with you, obviously being her mother? Do you think she would have been drawn to it anyway?
No, I don't. The odd bit is, and it might sound a little bit unbelievable, I literally packed away this life into boxes in 1995, and I never really talked about it. So I went to work in radio and media, and I built a career, and kind of the more successful I became, the less it was spoken about, because it was a distraction from what I was there to do. So my daughter really didn't grow up knowing this part of my life. I didn't not tell her anything, but I don't think I had a conversation about Cappella in 15 years.
See, I would have plaques and pictures up on the wall and everything. I'd be so proud.
Packed them all away. Ironically, I had a new office built, and I put 6 of the discs up, and that's the first time they've been on a wall since 95. When I then told her, she was 20, and I said, I'm going to go back and do this, and she just looked at me and said, you have barely mentioned it for all of my life, and now you're just going to go back on stage. And I was like, yeah I am. And the lovely bit is, I care a lot about her opinion, and in being a mum, that what they care about is more important than what you care about. Had she said, this is so embarrassing, she really would have had an impact on me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nothing.
Oh, no. She really would have had an impact on me. And she was actually just so wonderful right from day one. And she was in the Netherlands with me at the weekend, brings her boyfriends, they jump up and down. She came to Romania with me at New Year. And she's actually such a fan of it all. But no, I don't think her love of 90s music is about my history in it. I think it's because the songs are that good.
Do you think her friends have connected to it as well? Because TikTok and love it. Social media is bringing a lot of these songs back as well.
Yeah, but they're great tracks. They were truly individual. We said earlier, you know, some of this stuff was made in people's bedrooms that still sounds legendary today. I think people's pure love of music of that era and how individual the tracks are. Another one of the artists in the show is Tomiko Star. That Don't Stop Moving track, which Tomiko wrote the vocals to that's all about empowerment and celebration.
Yeah.
I listened to that track, and if that came out tomorrow, it would still have the same energy.
Wow. I think so as well. I totally agree with you. Yeah. So how do you think this new tour, what's really exciting you most about it? What's the one thing that you're thinking, yeah, this is why I'm doing it?
The other artists. I think, you know, it is an absolute celebration, but there's also an element of unity to it. You know, we all made productions, projects, we all made them household names, and the bit that's a little bit odd about the tour is our own names maybe are not famous, but the tracks are, and what we were part of are. So I think it's kind of, there's an element of a unity to it that is performing in our own rights. We get to do things that maybe there's complete freedom in what we do, and we can throw stuff in, we can take stuff out. So I think it's just that there's a celebration and a unity to it that is really, really rich. But then the nostalgia element is just, whatever the scale of nostalgia is, it just blows it out of the park, because it's just pure joy.
I'm really loving seeing faces and names on posters, and seeing, because we all know the sound. As soon as they start singing, I'm like, yeah, I know that voice, I know that song. Yeah. So to know the individuals and find out a bit more about them, I think that's wonderful, and that's a really good thing to promote with this tour as well. Yeah. I've got another song lined up for you as well. So obviously we had Sunshine After the Rain. We've got to get ready for this. We're going backwards. We're loving this. I've got You Got to Know, the Slipmat version.
Yes.
Your one.
So rather wildly, another thing that happened as part of returning is, at 53 years of age, I was supposed to go to the US when I left Cappella at the end of 94. I was supposed to go and spend time in the US in 95. I left Cappella for reasons we won't be able to go into today. And I didn't go, and neither did they. So I made my US debut on live American TV at 53 years of age at the OKC Thunder, the Houston Rockets NBA game. And it was honestly one of the most extraordinary experiences of my life.
This is no small feat at all.
Oh, it was magical. But I got there, I'm a massive basketball fan, and a friend said to me, if you don't slow your brain down and enjoy this, you'll miss it. And I heard those words, and I lived that day in slow-mo. At midday, we went and we did a check of sound. The delay, because I was stood on a floor with all of the people above me, was about 6 seconds. You kind of had to give in and trust the fact that the sound people knew what they were doing. 2 hours later, I went back and did it all with the dance squad. I'd sent the choreography, and the Houston Rockets dance squad learnt my choreography.
Wow.
Had a run through with them, and then live on TV that night, we did it live.
Just them learning your choreography is amazing. It's absolutely wild. Let's get it on, shall we? Here we go. Nadia Ali with Rapture. That was the Avicii New Generation mix. And obviously we heard as well, You Got to Know, Kelly O, your Slipmat version. Yep. And we heard Mr. Vane, Culture Beat. Yep. So somebody else is also touring with you on the Originals Live tour. Guess what, listeners? Guess what? Kelly has been kind enough. We are going to be able to give away 2 tickets. So if you fancy winning these, let's see how we're going to do this at the venue of your choice as well. So you're touring all across the UK as well, right?
Yeah, we've got 9 more. Don't make me list them all.
No, I won't.
But everywhere from there's several south, and we then go back up north. We do Newcastle, we do Preston, we do Portsmouth. Actually, in April we do Tunbridge Wells, Portsmouth, and Preston. We go to Salisbury, we go to Bath in May. We go to Ipswich. That's my hometown.
I wasn't going to make you list them, but you're doing doing really well.
And I can't remember the last ones, but there's 9 pretty well spread across the country, so people can come and see us somewhere not far from their home.
Amazing. So we're going to give away 2 tickets, and
Absolutely.
how they can enter that. Let me get this across for them. So if you fancy being there, this is what you've got to do. To enter, you need to send your name on WhatsApp to 0333 090 8160. So that's 0333 090 8160. Standard network charges will apply. Entries close at 8 p.m. on the 30th of March, and one winner will be selected at random and contacted on the 31st of March. You must be over 18 to enter. The prize is 2 tickets to the Originals live tour at the venue of your choice. The tickets are non-transferable and there's no cash alternative, and full terms and conditions are available on our website. That's glitterbeam.co.uk. If you want a proper night of nostalgia and the original artists, get your name in now, because I really want to enter. Obviously I can't, but Kelly, this is an awesome prize. Thank you.
We've just roped you in.
Oh, I wasn't going to tell anyone.
No, I'm looking for you to commit.
Oh, okay. She's making me do it live. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to learn
in.
some of your choreo. So this is what we've just discussed off air. I'm going to learn a little bit of Kelly's choreo. Oh, I'm panicking already. And apparently jump up on stage and go for it.
In Tunbridge Wells.
I mean,
on the 3rd of April.
I will
Come
be
and
living
do
my
it.
best.
I
can't say no. How can I say no? I will
It's
be
great
living
fun.
my best life.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like
The
a
boys
dream.
in Bradford did set you a very high,
Yeah, I've
very
just been
high
watching
target.
that video.
Yeah.
I don't know what your names are, guys, but your tracksuits, they were incredible.
They really were.
I'd love to know where you got them printed as well. Kelly, we just heard all about, obviously, your last story with where you were dancing for Take Me Away. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You got to know. You Take Me Away is where we're going with next, and apparently you've got another story for me for this one.
There's a segment in the show that's all about homage. So Anita does Gypsy Woman by Crystal Waters because that influenced her when writing No Limit. Low Limit. I think that was #1 in 37 countries, including the UK. And she shares that, it was inspired by Crystal Waters. And Nita does that in the homage section. And I do Take Me Away. Take Me Away is the first ever track that I remember completely possessing me. I remember I was at Tiffany's in Great Yarmouth, and I didn't used to head to the front where the crowd was. I used to head for the back of the room, find a space, and I just used to just be possessed, completely lost in music. And this is the first track that ever did this to me. And then the absolute luxury of returning, and Slipmatt's just one of the world's good guys anyway, but let alone the music industry is such a good guy. And I was looking to do a nod to the rave era because it was such a big part of my life. And I started off saying I was going to do a version of this show, of this track. And then I said to Matt, can I send this to you, the kind of initial soft version? And he said, I'd really like to do this. So Matt produced it for me. It's the dance that you've just seen, the bass in the place loop, it's around Take Me Away. Right. So that part is a complete kind of hard dance part of the show, and it's absolute joy. But this track is the very first track that I remember completely possessing me.
Okay. Honestly, the excitement of when you're asking me to go on stage there is like, yeah, great choreo. But actually, I think I might be a little bit ill on the day.
No, you can't bail.
Okay, I won't bail. But what's made you do that though? What's made you share choreo?
People just kept asking. I think because I was quite famous for the dancing side. I came out of SL2 and the rave era, and then I took that energy style into Eurodance, which wasn't really seen in Eurodance, and I think that's part of why I was so well remembered as Cappella. And I've put quite a lot of the original choreography back into my show. I don't know, it just immediately comes back. I just remember what I used to do because I did it hundreds and hundreds of times. And people are always asking me about choreo videos. Yeah,
I mean, I think social media as well, all the dance trends and obviously like TikTok trends and stuff as well. It's big. Young people want to learn it as well. So I reckon this is another great way to connect. But
it started from sending the choreo to the one thing you can do now. You used to have to travel with dancers, and sometimes we do, but you can send it ahead and then you get there and people have learnt it.
That's fabulous. Okay, well, I did agree, live on air, so I guess I've got to start learning. Here we go. That was incredible. I love that.
I know.
I'm such a high. It does not feel like a Wednesday afternoon at all. I'm really sorry if you're sitting in the office, and I hope you're having a good time with us anyway and enjoying this, because this is brilliant. You've got a message come in from Rachel. It says, huge hello to Kelly. Natalie, we're vibing with you today. It doesn't say where they are, but hi Rachel, thanks for messaging in to the studio. Oh, wow. I mean, this is brilliant today. I'm just going to get this one going. I've got so many of your songs lined up and I just feel like I'm going to run out of time for them all. Let's get rid of that one. There, yeah, we've got some more songs lined up for us to have a little chat with as well. I've got a couple of this or that song questions for you as well. If you could have, so CDs or mini discs, first of all, which would you play on? CDs. Yeah. So, and if you could have your music redone now on any format, what would you
Still
do?
Vinyl.
Still vinyl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still like the original crackle and the authenticity of vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go back into a little bit of fashion from the 90s as well.
Okay.
Costume wise, let's go for it. Hot pants.
Never.
No, never.
No.
Or parachute trousers.
Never happened.
My other thing.
Always baggies.
Always baggies.
Then and now.
Yeah. How many strands did you have hanging off your trousers?
Oh, I don't know. I can't really remember. Well, I definitely had some of those, but that was a bit later than the rave era. That was kind of a fashion kind of come round again, I think, later. In the era, we used to go and buy the kind of proper military combats from the surplus stores, you know, the army surplus stores, because they weren't really fashion trousers in the late 80s. So we actually used to go proper utility.
Amazing. And what about, so they got the, did you make your tops out of tights? Did you do that?
No.
The fishnet tights?
No.
Oh, okay. Trick for you.
Okay.
You can make a top, turn them upside down, cut the middle out.
You can make a top out of fishnet ties.
I thought that was a dance. Did not everyone do that?
I didn't know, but Joe and I did used to make our clothes in SL2, and if you bother to watch some of the videos, you can tell we did, and we agreed we're not doing that again.
Oh, you should, because it adds to the authenticity of it. All right, okay. Hair-wise then, shall we say the dreads and the braids or space buns?
Yeah, I did the braids.
You did the
very
braids.
famously, I did the braids. I've never done space buns.
You know,
maybe I still should.
Yeah, do it.
They're not on the side like Princess Leia. No,
no,
the top.
up high.
Okay. No, I'm sticking with the braids.
Okay, fair enough. And then if you're on stage, dry ice fog machines, or you're going to go for a laser light show?
Always going to be laser light show, because the bit they don't really mention is the dry ice is truly dry. So when they decide to kind of pump that into the air whilst you're singing, it can dry out your throat.
Yeah.
So I'm not actually, especially not if I'm stood by them. So I'm an absolute fan of the light show, less of a fan of the dry ice.
Yeah, Matrix style as well. I think it really adds to the energy, doesn't it?
Yeah, love it.
All right, radio road shows or late night club PAs?
Do you know, I think it's because...
Remember, you're on radio right now.
Yeah, I think it's because I do... The bit that's been a little bit odd, there's been several things that have changed. So I never did daytime shows in the 90s, really. They were very few and far between, and obviously there's a lot of summer daytime shows now, and I like that. You can see the crowd. I like it. I'm not really doing raves, so there's not so much rave style stuff. On New Year's Eve, this wasn't a thing in the 90s. I performed outside in Romania and it was -12.
Ooh.
And the Siberian wind was coming in through the right of stage. And if you watch the video, I managed to kind of keep my back to the right of stage the entire show. Because if I turned round, the wind got in my throat.
Ooh.
But
I feel the chill you talking about it.
I know, the show was absolutely phenomenal and the crowd was phenomenal, and I'd absolutely do it again. But that's new, outside in -12. The clubs is where it all started for me, clubs and raves. So to actually go to clubs and, you know, the more sweat that's dripping off the walls, the more at home I am. It's always going to have a proper place in my heart.
Amazing. If, okay, you might not like this one, but you might love this.
Yep.
If there was another song, a big song from that time, one that's not yours, that you could have had and you could have been on, what would it have been?
I've kind of got ones for different things. So Shades of Rhythm used to have a girl dance with them called Jo. And every time I see the girl, The Sound of Eden. And I told them many years later I always wanted to do that. So I always wanted to be the dancer to that. And my favourite track from the prodigy of the era was Out of Space. Would have loved at the time to have danced to that. But vocally uplifting, there's a couple of traps that I absolutely love. Things like Tori Amos' Professional Widow, Ultranate's Free was such an anthem at the time, and I think kind of if you gave me the opportunity, it'd probably be one of those.
Okay, well, I can't wait to see you on the Originals live tour. Everyone just grab those tickets. It is going to be a vibe, and thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me, and thank you to everybody out there.
Bye.